Good morning and welcome to our draw along again on a Monday morning with me, Pip, and Michael, my learner, where today we're going to be studying the nursing shark. So if you've been with us for a few weeks, you'll know that we have been focused on sharks all term, and today is the turn of this guy here, the nursing shark. So you can hopefully see and hear me okay, and hopefully you've got the reference image to hand your end as well. And the idea is obviously that we just sketch along in a relaxed way, working in our own style. You can follow some of the tips I have, or you can just do things completely your own way. If you don't like that reference picture and you'd like to work from a different picture, that's absolutely fine as well. But this image I've chosen shows the nursing shark face on. We've got a fin here, another fin here, and this here is actually his tail. So you can see sort of turning in the water towards us, and he's got two friends with him as well. So I'm going to try and draw all of that today. Mostly grey tones, the black as well, which as you can see is on its last leg. So I might have to get a new one ready for next week. And then some blues if I've got time to then put in the background so that the image really pops and you've got a nice flash of colour. Also, it's going to look very monotone. So good morning. So Jay, I want to say that's Abby. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Eden and Susie as well. So I'm hoping that means that everything is coming through okay. And you can see and hear everything. So I'm going to start by giving you some facts. For a start, I've been saying the name wrong. It's nurse sharks, not nursing sharks. And they're distinguished by their flattened body and wide head, as we can see in the reference picture. Their colour varies from grey to yellow-brown, and some have small dark spots when they are young. Hi, Pip and Michael. We're watching this in the hotel in London. Nice, from Bean and Bud. They're in London. I hope you're having a nice trip out in London. What are you up to there? Oh, going to Fulham Palace today. Nice. We're just stuck in Aylsham in Kent, not doing anything particularly exciting today. So the common name for the nurse shark is just that. The scientific name is Gynglymostoma serratum. It sounds like, what does it sound like to you, Michael? Because I know what it reminds me of me. It reminds me of a Harry Potter spell. It sounds a little bit creative like that, which is kind of cool. Abby said, I just want to say I saw a picture of you. I saw a picture of you. Sorry, my emails popped up, I couldn't see. You're so pretty, I love your hair. Thank you very much. I do it myself. It doesn't look like that at the moment. It's all washed out and looks a bit blondie. But you've inspired me to maybe sort it out. So thank you. Hopefully, yeah, so I'm guessing you're referring to the article that we wrote for a magazine talking about home ed and the positive sides of things, because obviously you might be aware that there's some negative press around home ed, and we wanted to fly the flag a little. So thank you for commenting on that. I said it reminds me of cheese. I'm assuming you mean the Gynglymostoma serratum. So it is a type of fish. It's not a mammal, just like the other sharks we've been studying. There are no known species that have a marked preference for nurse sharks in terms of eating them. So they don't tend to have any natural predators, except for humans, of course. However, remains of nurse sharks have been found in the stomachs of lemon and tiger sharks, and there are also documented instances of attacks by hammerheads and bull sharks, but they were unable to pierce the thick skin of the nurse shark. So they don't tend to be threatened by other species in the seas too much, which is good news for nurse sharks. Just want to straighten up my camera because my page is wonky and that's going to drive me mad. They are carnivores. They eat mostly fish, and their life expectancy is up to 25 years. They can grow between 7.5 to nearly 10 feet long and weigh between 200 to 330 pounds. They're not considered to be endangered, but there isn't much data around them for us to be able to know for sure. So a lot of marine life, we haven't been able to study them too closely to be absolutely sure. They have two broadly rounded dorsal fins of virtually identical size, and their tail fin, unlike other sharks, does not have a distinct lower lobe. So if I show you the reference picture, again, what it means here, a lot of the sharks we've been studying, you have this top tip bit, I'll show you so you can actually see, and then there'd be another bit that comes down, and the nurse shark doesn't have that. It's like it's been chopped off, but it's not, that's by design. Joe, good morning everybody. Welcome, Joe. So, and hello from Holly. So should we start sketching? I'm drawing landscape again because I think this is a wide picture, and I've put my camera right in my way, so this is going to be very awkward, but I'll see how I can do. So I'm going to start off just as always, drawing really rough sketchy. I started too low down on my page though, so I'm going to start again. It's a good start. Let's hope that hasn't set the tone for the whole week. You need a rubber, Michael?
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm going to start slightly higher up. Almost like an oblong-y shape. I'm going to try and make sure I get enough room on my page to get all the features in. Looks like I'm going to do quite a good job of filling the space today. And then we can see the tap. Ooh, I'm not sure if I've left myself enough room here, so I might have to make the head smaller so that I can get the towel in a bit better. It's looking a bit squashed at the minute. And that's why we sketch lightly to begin with, so that if we need to adjust it, we haven't wasted loads of time and it's easy for us to make those corrections. Doesn't look like much of anything at the moment, but we're going to stick with it. Is it okay that I draw really small? Absolutely. There's no rules in art. That's what we like about it. I'm not very good at following rules. So now that I've got the rough proportions on the page, I can sort of start smartening things up and looking at the bigger details. I'm going to start with this mouth. And these little extra big, these little like catfish whiskers that we see. I'm still sketching really rough and light, so that, again, if I've made any major boo-boos, I can correct them easily. How you getting on, Michael?
Good.
How you getting on? And you can just see his eye there as well. He's got a little eye. I'm going to sketch that in. Got a flat head. I want to get that. Change the shape I had there because it was a little bit too rounded, and actually it's quite a flat, broad head that I want to draw in. Remnants of rubber everywhere. I'm just smartening things up as I go along. And then that fin, it's almost like he's waving at us. Quite like the angle of that. You just imagine him sweeping through the water. You right, Michael?
Yeah.
I had a big sigh. I didn't know if that was a fed up sigh or a relief that you got through a bit of your illustration. How are we getting on, guys, so far? The proportions when you're drawing are really good, really accurate, Pip. Thank you. So I think your week has got to a good start, likewise. Oh, well, thank you. I'll take that. Let's hope it stays that way. You watch me muck it all up now. The pressure got too much. Now I feel like this fin is over too much, so I'm going to correct that a little bit. You can see the wide angle of this fin here. So it's the same body part, just the opposite side of this one, but you've got two different angles showing on it. And then the towel. Let's go in with a towel. I think now that I've adjusted things, I will be able to fit in this towel a bit better. There we go. I got scared and creeped out because that little spot by the right fin looks like an extra eye. By the right fin? I can't see where you mean. Oh, do you mean here? Yeah, I can see it now. It looks like the tower's curling around the body. It's a funky, what's the word? Angle for the photo. I think that's what drew me to it. It's quite, you can get a sense of movement from it, can't you? You can imagine it gliding through the water, and like you say, the actual body's twisting and turning, and it shows in that shot. So that's cool. So that's my line drawing. That's not a bad start. I'm going to just sketch in where the grey becomes white, as a reminder myself, and then I've got these details here as well that I want to get in. But there's not a hell of a lot of detail other than that. That is it. That is the nurse shark. But I'm going to try and get these extra fish in. How are we doing for time? 11:11. Oh, angel numbers. Yeah, I think I've got time to get these in. I might need to zoom in on my picture. I know what my eyesight's like. So we've got one on the top of his head. I don't know what these fish are. If anybody else does, feel free to let me know. Anyone recognises them, I'll have a good idea for what they could be. I'm definitely hitching a ride this one anyway. They've got these funky little stripes running down their bodies as well. So I'm going to be sure to try and get that in when I add the colour and the tone. So that's one. Now there's one swimming underneath him as well. It's sort of going across his fin. If we run out of films, we can always draw every single fish in the sea. Oh my goodness, it would be never ending. Roughly how far from the top did you start drawing? How do we show that? What's that, an inch from the top of my page, I would say? The shape of this fish almost look like a little mini humpback whale. That would be quite interesting to know what they are. Probably done that one a little bit too big, but I won't stress too much. And even this one you can see, when you look at it, you can see the towers. He's turned in the water to follow the nurse shark. Okay, I'm pleased with that. So I think I'm ready to start adding some tone. I'm going to start with the wow first of all, because if I run out of time, I want to make sure that at least the wow and the fish are coloured in. Hopefully I've got enough time to then put some blue in the background, but we will see. I'm going to start with a grey to give a base colour down onto the page. Have we ever done a wow? Michael, can you remember us drawing a wow at all?
I think we did.
I feel like we have. Yes, we did. Didn't we do a humpback? We definitely have done a wow, because it was one of, I think you've got yours up on the wall, your bedroom wall.
Yeah, we did do.
It was one that I was really pleased with. It should be on our YouTube page if you was interested in drawing a wow. It should be on there. If you go to our YouTube channel, Technology Triumphs, and then then search for Drawalong and wow, you should find one on there, at least one, anyway. Yeah, a few people saying yes, we have. Yeah, I think I had some. We've done so many now. It's hard to sort of keep track of it all, isn't it? Pretty sure it's a humpback. That's what I've got a feeling it was. I feel like I did the texture of a humpback. So ringing a bell for me. Oh, Joe's found it. She's good, isn't she? She's right on the ball. Joe's found it. She's put the link on to the comments. So if you did want to do the humpback, wow, it is there for you. Well done, Joe. Have you ever? What's someone? Well, I will do that one after lunch. From that'd be nice. Have you ever done mythical creatures as a theme? Why, yes, we have. We did. We did an alicorn. We did a griffin. We did chimera. There were a few on there, and then one of them was a case of create your own mythical creatures. God, that was like one of our earliest ones actually, a couple of years ago now. So again, if you look on our YouTube channel, hopefully they are on there. I know that we lost a couple of live draw-alongs. Facebook just, I don't know what they did. But we lost a couple, but hopefully the vast majority of them are all on there. Have you drawn an elephant? I feel like we may have done when we did the jungle animals. Again, that was one of the first ones there. Joe's put our full YouTube playlist on there now. So basically, have a scroll, see what's on there. I don't know how many there are now, but it's a fair few, so there's a good chance that if you're looking for something in particular, we may well have already done it. I'm going to put some water on the page so that my first layer has time to dry before we add in more detail. Greek mystical creatures would be interesting. Imagine drawing a minotaur, etc. Probably spelt wrong. I know what you meant. I think that's very close to the spelling if it's not accurate. Abby's just feeling artsy today. Nice. It's good thing to be feeling. Joe says we have done an elephant and that's on YouTube plays too. I feel like we should have done. I just can't remember doing it now. Be my old age again. You stealing my paintbrushes, Michael? I see you.
No.
I see you stealthily sneaking around the table to steal a paintbrush.
I'll just take these.
They're probably too big. You can use that one. It's fine. I don't need it for now.
That's fine. There's a small one in here.
I insist. Take it.
There's a small one in here.
Okay. Where would I post the drawing for the elephant if you wanted feedback for it? Oh, we probably can't necessarily accept feedback on old tutorials only because Joe, lovely Joe, sets aside time on a Monday to do that. She's only got a limited amount of time to do it. So if we started opening it up for our past tutorials, I think she might have a meltdown. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. It might get too much work. Unfortunately. But I wonder if we could, I don't know, maybe we could open a little community group for Drawalong that if you wanted to post just to share with other people, perhaps, maybe, I don't know, what do we think? That would be great, you say. Well, maybe we can look into that, see if it's possible. It's obviously something that we'd need to monitor and manage. So if we've got time to do that, I'm sure we could facilitate something like that. Oh, that's a nice idea. We like that. Cool. Oh, well, that's going down well then, isn't it? Well, and we do always say on our courses and everything that actually pretty much everything we have come up with is because we've listened to you guys and what you want and what you need. And if that sounds quite appealing, maybe we can make that happen. Joe said, yeah, I'm so sorry, I don't think I could fit in retrospective ones. Yeah, I think that would be the case. Sometimes I'm still going 45 minutes after the thread closes, depending on how many we have in some weeks. But a little community group would be wonderful. Well, we should add that onto our list, shall we, Joe? The people have spoken, and we're listening. I'm definitely going to need some darker tones on this. This is just a first layer. How are we doing for time? 25 past. Good, good, good. I feel like I've got a vague memory of doing the elephant one now. Did it include a baby within it? Does that ring a bell to you, Michael?
No.
No. To be fair, my memory can't be trusted. Joe runs off to create new group. That's how we work. I don't think she's even joking either, if I know Joe. I'm just going to turn my page because it's easier for me to work this way for this bit here. Just my hand wants to go that way more than the other, so I just cheat and turn my page round. Better. Abby, what will it be called? I'd love to be part. Give Jo 5 seconds, I'm sure she would have come up with that as well. Okay, so I've got a base colour down for my shark at least. So I'm going to work on the two little tag along fish. Hopefully that'll give me enough time for the page to dry, and then I can build on some darker tones, because at the moment it's a little bit too light. I need to build some more depth into my picture and make it look more realistic. And then, depending on how we go, if I've got time, I'll add in some blue as well. But we will see. How's everybody else getting on? Should we share some more facts? Share some more information. So the origin of the name nurse shark is unclear. It may come from the sucking sound that they make when hunting for prey in the sand, because they're bottom dwellers, so they eat off the ground of the as in the seabed. So they've got this big wide mouth and they literally suck up. So there's a theory that that's why they're called nurse sharks, because it vaguely resembles, the sound of that vaguely remembers the sound of a nursing baby. Or the name may derive from an archaic word, nus, meaning cat shark. But the most likely theory is that the name comes from the Old English word for sea floor shark, hers. They're slow-moving bottom dwellers and are, for the most part, harmless to humans. However, they can be huge, up to 14 feet, and have very strong jaws filled with thousands of tiny serrated teeth, and will bite defensively if stepped on or bothered by divers who assume they're docile. So, whilst they might not hunt humans, don't muck around with them, basically, is the story there. The mouth of the shark deserves special attention as it's small and sits under the head, practically glued to the ground. It works like a vacuum cleaner. And both sides of it, below the nostril, which we can distinguish two chins or nose whiskers, these here. Nurse sharks use them to discover hidden prey on the seabed. Then it starts the suction process, which is nothing more than a super powerful pharynx that absorbs food at high speed, so powerful that it can rip a snail out of its shell. This technique is very useful as the nurse shark can extract elusive prey well hidden in the crevices of the reef. They can use their strong jaws to crush and eat shellfish and even coral, but prefer to dine on fish, shrimp and squid. Unlike most other sharks, nurse sharks are smooth to the touch. They are found in the warm, shallow waters of the western Atlantic and eastern Pacific Oceans. They are abundant throughout their range and have no special conservation status, although the closeness of their habitat to human activities is putting pressure on the species. Of course it is, because we know that that's what happens, isn't it? With humans, we tend to dominate and take over and make life a lot more difficult for wildlife, generally speaking. Not us, obviously, but humans in general. And getting this little fish in here, and he's got like that darker grey stripe running through him, almost black even. I might switch to the black. Forgot his fin. I'm not spending too much time on this because I don't want this to be the main feature and focus of my time. It's about the nurse shark. Did anyone discover or work out what these fish are? Maybe you can have a Google, Michael. I don't know what you'd Google, but
I'm just waiting for this to dry.
so whilst you're waiting for it to dry, you could be Googling, couldn't you?
Google what?
What sort of fish attached to nurse sharks? See if you can find images that look like the ones in the reference image.
Remoria?
Have you got a picture of it?
Not really.
Well, search up that fish and we'll see if it looks the same.
These.
Yes, so they're called remora. I'll show you on Michael's phone. So this is what that fish looks close up. It's actually like greens and stuff in it, which doesn't show on our image at all, but it does look the same because it's got that stripe running through. They're quite cool. Georgina's put at the hardest part, the face's features. Oh my word, Joe, you are ridiculous.
What?
Joe runs into the chat sweating after furiously fast typing and clicking. Did it. She's created us a Drawalong group. Well done, Joe. You're amazing. If I haven't told you that recently, just so you know. So there you go, guys. We've got our own little group now. So if you did want to do any retrospective ones, or, you know, if you miss a session and you watch it back later, or you weren't quite quick enough to get your image onto upload for feedback, now you've got somewhere you can put them, and hopefully as a community, if we work together and give each other feedback, I think that would be a really good technique. Actually, that is something that when I used to teach in schools, I used to encourage the learners to give each other feedback, not just rely on mine, because I'm not, you know, I don't know everything, and you might see something that I wouldn't see, so it's a good little exercise, I guess. That's very cool. Abby's but woohoo! She's amazing, isn't she? I think you've earned a cup of coffee now, Joe. You've made a lot of people happy by the looks of things. Okay, so now I want to go in and smarten up and neaten up some details, add some more depth to my image. You know what I've forgotten to do so far though is the eye, which is bizarre because I normally do that first of all. So let's get that in, and there's some definite darker tones around the eye that I want to put in. And then we've got this over here. You finished already, Michael?
I mean, it's like nearly 11:40.
Well, that's still quite early.
It's not, like 20 minutes. Better than what I normally do.
You can see already just by using the black pencil to go in with the details, it's giving it a lot more depth, and you can actually see the form a lot better this way. So I'm going to spend a bit of time doing that, and then what I'll do is try and add in some of this pattern and doppled effect we can see on the reference picture, because I haven't got that at the moment. You can't see that, those sort of colourings and markings yet. Oh, my hand's aching. Do you know what it is? This pencil's so small I can't get a good grip on it. It is hurting. I definitely need to treat myself to a new pencil, I think. Turn the page again. Can I do it? Can I do this and get the background in? I might be pushing my luck, but I think I'm going to give it a go. Because I now need to put water on the page again to blend what I've just done. Then I need to put some patterns and markings on. So in between, I could probably do some background colour as well. I'm rushing a bit now. I'm being a little bit more sloppy with the water. I'll try and keep the control of it and not rush too much. How's everyone else getting on at the moment? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go in with the blues and hope that gives me enough time for this to dry so that I just have enough time to add the texture. Okay, so I've decided to only do the fish on the top. Personally, I really like mine. It's much better than I thought it would be. Good, awesome. Oh, you can add in the blue? Yes, I am. We added the blue background tiles and it really makes it pop. So I'm going to try and do the same. I think I may be a bit rushed, but we'll see what I can do in the time we've got. Yeah, and I knew it would make a big difference to the image because otherwise it is very grey. So using the side of my pencil just to lay the colour down, I can use a nice big thick brush to blend it all out. I definitely want to make sure I've got enough time to add the texture that you can see, this sort of like mottled dotty of pattern on the nurse shark's skin. Frantic shading. Oh, this is going to be so bright when I add the water. It might be a little bit too bright, but it will be impactful, that's for sure. So I'm rushing. Okay, next. The above bit. I don't think I've shaded so fast in my life. Feels like an arm workout at the moment. Saves me going to the gym, I suppose. You've got 15 minutes, don't worry. I don't know, we always do this and then I go and then I panic in the last minute. Yeah, maybe I can calm down a bit. We have to go now because we have limited time in this hotel. Oh, I'm still impressed that you joined us from the hotel. So thank you for this lesson. Yours looks brilliant. I'm sure Michael looks great too. Enjoy the rest of your lesson and your next week, and we will see you next week. Awesome. Yes, next week. What are we doing? It's another shark. It's the last one. Basking shark, I believe. Holly has to go now. She said thank you and goodbye. Thank you for coming. Don't forget, if you want some feedback, look for the main page post at 1 o'clock. The earlier you can put your pictures up, the better for us. I say us, Jo, the better for Jo. If she has 20 coming at 3 o'clock, it's a bit of a nightmare. So if you can get them on as early as possible, it really makes her job a lot easier. And yeah, hopefully you can join us next week in the last of our shark draw-alongs. Wow shark, I don't know where I got basking shark. Wow shark is next week. I just made that up, didn't I? Big thick paintbrush is what I need. I think I'm going to be by the skin of my teeth, you know. In order to get the texture onto the shark as well, I've got to move quickly. Still need the little brush to get into the smaller parts. Yeah, a few people saying, wow, shark. How do you guys know better than me what I'm doing? Well, that's probably not too difficult, actually. I am chaos personified. Winning, we are winning. I can do this. 10 minutes will definitely give me enough time to get some texture onto the shark's skin. That's the quickest I've done any background, I think, ever. Right, Michael, do you want to show yours quickly?
Yeah.
A finished piece?
It's not the greatest.
You always say that. Oh, you have got the texture on. You worked from a different reference picture, didn't you? Nice. Well done, Michael. Right. Okay. I've got a very damp page now, but I want to try and get in some of this texture on the shark's skin, which I'm going to go with the dark grey and the black to try and get this mottled. It's almost like it looks like granite or something, the surface texture of this shark. So I'm going to literally sketch in with a black, and then maybe the grey, and maybe then the white gel pen as well, because there's also white flecks you can see. If the paint is dry, it might enable me to do that. This is a bit tedious doing this, but it will make your drawing a lot more accurate because you're showing texture as well as form and tone. Obviously there's no exact science to this. I'm not copying every spot, I'm just dotting my shark. And you can see it everywhere. It's all on the fins. It is not just isolated to one aspect of him. Yeah, even on this fin. This will make your hand ache, for sure. And then I've got some markings underneath on the white part as well that I need to get in. There's a lighter grey I'm doing that. And on his bottom lip. Oh, achy hand. See if I can get some. Yeah, the gel pen shows up quite nicely. Hopefully you can see that on yours as well. Oh my goodness, my arm is seizing up. I'm not sure how much longer I can do this for, it hurts. Oh, I think I am just about done. You could spend an age adding in the texture. 1, I don't have the time. 2, I don't have the inclination because my arm aches. So I'm stopping with the texture there. I'm just now going in the last couple of minutes, adding in some more defined lines just to make it an even more bold illustration. I'm quite pleased with him. He looks friendly. Not with all those teeth I'd approach him in this ocean, but he doesn't look as ferocious as some of the other sharks we've studied, that's for sure. I think I'm done. I think I'm quite pleased with him. Poor Pip. Yes, my poor hand. It needs recovery now. I haven't finished because I didn't sign. So Pip, 2025. That's my nurse shark. I'm quite pleased with that. I definitely think this system we're using, where we're studying a certain type of animal for a few weeks, helps us develop the skills. So like using the grey tones over and over with the sharks, and trying to create that texture of the shark's skin now is starting to work quite well. I'm just now that I've stopped and looked at it, I've decided the tail is too light in colour, so I'm just going to add in a little bit more darker tones there, because that's bothering me. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. I hope you guys are finding the same, that it's helping you to develop your skills in a certain area before we move on to something else. Can't think what it is we're studying after sharks. I have got it planned. Let me have a look, see if I can quickly find it before. So next week is our last one before we have a little break, and then what are we doing? And this, I might have this wrong, but at the moment I've got it down as, we've done birds, we've done cats, we've done dogs and wolves, done sharks. Next one I think is primates. So that's a cool one. That is going to be a tough one because I avoid drawing people. Well, I joke, primates. I avoid drawing people because I find them so tricky, and primates obviously share a lot of similar features, so that is going to be another challenging one, but it will be good for us because it's good to work outside of our comfort zone. So there you go. There's a nurse shark. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you next week when we draw the whale shark. My memory, I really need to do something about this. I hope you have a lovely week, and don't forget to upload your image as soon as you can from 1 o'clock if you'd like some feedback from the lovely Jo. And also, if you want to join that community group that Jo's just thrown together for us, then feel free to request to join. See you all later, guys.